Yeah, I'm gonna do a breakfast or brunch favorite, frittata, but I'm gonna do an egg white to keep it a little bit heart healthier. So I'm gonna start with my eggs first and crack those out into a bowl. It's on the side right here. And then just separate them with the shell, and like by using this way, and then I'll save the yolks if you want to make some sort of dessert. If you get a little bit in this one, like a yolk in there, it's gonna be fine because, you know, it's just not gonna be for like a meringue or anything where it will mess it up. And we'll finish this out, keep going with it until I get all of these 6 in there, and then I'll start my vegetables next. All right, now I'm gonna start on my vegetables. I got my eggs cracked and I'll take care of those in a second, but pretty minimal on there. So I'm gonna work on my vegetables for the frittata. So we already did some green onions. You can do some yellow onions, red onions as well. I like these because they're a little bit softer and they work really well in the frittata. I've boiled my potatoes. You can use any kind. I just slice these up. These are red bliss. Yukons, make sure they're tender through, and then I'm going to do a little bit of red pepper. I'm going to go a little bit smaller. Let's see, we'll go a little dice. You can do slices too, dice, whichever one you want, but for here we'll go a little dice to keep it easier to eat, and we'll get that like that. Do a little dice chop here, and then keep it veg friendly too. I'm going to go just like that, and then I think that should be enough. I got a 6-egg frittata, or a 6-egg white frittata. I use extra large eggs, and so that'll give us enough. And then we'll start with this, and then let me turn on my pan. I'll start my veg first to cook it. So I'm gonna start out here, and I got this pan on high, a little olive oil. So I'm gonna get some color on the potatoes, get a little color too on the peppers, season them, then take them out, and then I'll work on the egg part of it. So then here, these have already been cooked in salted boiling water, but we will always add a little bit more for flavor. Get a nice layer down in the pan, just like that. It's always nice cooking outdoors too, so the mess is a little bit not as contained. There we go. So let's get a nice even layer so I get a little color on that potato evenly. I'll start with that first. Okay, so now I got the potatoes. Now I'm gonna add some peppers to that, but I've got the cooking on one side. Should hopefully get a little color, give a little flip. So it's gonna crisp up a little bit. And then we'll add these because they take a little bit longer to cook than the green onion. And then same here, we're gonna get a little cook on that. A little bit of salt as well. And then let that go for a few more minutes, just till I get a little color and cook them. These are cooking a little bit, it's been a few minutes, like a minute or two, and then I'm gonna add some green onion and do the same thing, just let that cook down a little bit. And then we're gonna go with the egg white. Smell it out here, look at that. The peppers, the onion, the potato. So this is the egg white, so I'm gonna add a little bit of salt to that. Like that, give it a little stir, a little more salt. Add a little bit of feta cheese to this as well, so I'm gonna add, not as much, the feta will add a little bit of salt to it, so there. I'm gonna go right into there, like that. Okay, just like kind of making like an omelet. Over there, I'm gonna add a little more black pepper. Okay. And now, with your rubber spatula, since this is a non-stick, we're gonna kind of go the insides and just try to let it cook a little evenly. And then once we do that and kind of set it a little bit, we're gonna cook it in the oven on one side and then the other side. I'm cleaning down the sides just to kind of evenly cook it out a little bit, meaning the egg white, because you want a little color on the bottom, especially frittata. It's gonna be cooked all the way through, but we wanna get a nice even set on this right now. And then I'm gonna pop it into a 375-degree oven that's been preheated. And this is gonna be like I shouldn't say personal size, it's quite large, but it should have some depth to it. So it has almost like a cake in a way. So we're gonna cook on one side. I'm gonna pop this in the oven on the inside, and then I'll show you how I finish it out. Sorry, one more time. So it's kind of like one layer, and I cleaned up the sides so it's nice and flat like that, just because it's easier to take out. You don't want it sticking. So I'm gonna add a little feta, some crumbles like this right here. Nice little briny, salty, creamy crumble right there. And then now we're gonna go inside. I'm gonna put it into the oven. So while the frittata's in the oven and it's cooking right now, I just want a little simple salad just on the side. Just give it something fresh, palate cleanser, so to speak, for it. And then I've got some tomatoes here, and we're gonna just cut those up a little bit small like that. Maybe do a dice like that. Do a few of these. Here's my bowl ready for it. And then we'll do a few more here. And then to that, I'm going to add some of the same components, so you don't have to keep doing doubles of everything. So if you have some extra, that's kind of where this came from. We're going to take these tomatoes here, do a little more, and then be able to give it a nice little fresh component to the salad. So it's always nice for brunch. you have something fresh with something cooked, and the same kind of flavor components to it too. So you got a little bit there, seasoned with a nice amount of salt, some cracked black pepper, okay? And then I'm also going to add a little bit of the green onion that we had, just a little bit, not too much, just for a little flavor. Do a little toss, just like that, with a spoon. It's got some nice fresh basil. It's nicely washed. We're just gonna give it a little rough chop right there, a rough chiffonade. Chiffonade is the term for a julienne, but for a leafy green, just a little bit like that. And I'm gonna do a little bit of olive oil, extra virgin for this one for sure. Just a little bit like that. Some balsamic, or you can use lemon juice. I happen to be out, and then give that a quick toss, and then just do a little bit of feta too in there as well. This can be at the finishing touch. I don't really mix it in too much. You can just for a little bit, just to give it a little same flavors. Let it marinate, and then you'll have a great little side tomato salad for your frittata, for your brunch or for breakfast. The frittata in the oven, and then I'm gonna flip it over so we've got this side. So as I said, I've cleaned it up nicely. See the cheese is getting a little bit of color. And then I'm going to do this, just make sure it's unhinged and nice and loose. So when I flip it, it doesn't have a stick, so it doesn't all not come out. So there we go, like that. And then I'm gonna use a plate to help me out with this, and I'll show you how to You put it on like this, flip it over, and then you have the frittata. I'm gonna cook it one more side, flipped over, and I'll put it in the oven just for a little bit more, just to get a little more color on the bottom. And I'll show you how to plate it nice and brown on both sides, and just lay it right down in the pan. You see the nice potatoes, the peppers. You can sprinkle some herbs if you want, and a nice accompaniment with your tomato basil salad. So enjoy. So if you like this video, please subscribe. If you like it too, smash that like button. And if you have any comments, you want to see anything else, please let me know. Enjoy. Great cooking.